All the content contained in this webcast is for informational purposes only. The investments and strategies contained in this webcast may not be suitable for you. Please consult your own independent financial advisor before making any investment or trading decisions. Good morning, traders and investors around the world, and welcome to Tuesday's edition of premarketinfo.com, where we prepare you for the most important hour of the day, the first hour. Well, good morning to you, Dennis. Pretty tight range in the S&Ps here, about 7 points.
Yeah, it's been a pretty tight range overall. We were up a little bit before, now we just had the durable goods, and that brought us down. We're only up $1.50 now, Joel.
Okay, well, that puts a lot of importance on yesterday's high, 1370.75. That'd be your first resistance point. The current Globex high stands at 1373.75. So, in fact, if we can clear that 1371 level, there would be our next stopping point. Upside target up at 1378.75. The low currently stands at 1365.50, just a little bit below settlement there, so keep an eye on that morning early in the session. If we take that out, we might actually have a chance to go down. If the 73.75 holds up as the high of the day, we have a downside target of 1360.50. Moving on to the Big Ten, Dennis, ExxonMobil continues its assault on the $88 level, just missing it again. 87 high of the move, only got to 87.83 yesterday. We got a close here, 87.23. We are trading below that. That will be some minor resistance. Bunch of lows here, Dennis, 86.50. As long as you folks are seeing ExxonMobil above 86.50, you're good to go to test that 52-week high.
I still think that 88's going to come. Well, I think eventually it is maybe going to take it out, but right now we are pulling back here. The stock trading down 11 cents. $88 is just huge on this, Joel. I don't know what to say. There's like 200,000 shares up there. There's high frequency guys probably leaning all over the place in there. Whenever this gets up into the 87.80s and 87.90s, it's met with stiff high frequency resistance.
Okay, moving on to Apple Computer. Of course, Apple making a new 52-week high again, trading up to 528.50. That's the all-time high. That'll be resistance now early in the session. Just trading above settlement, Dennis, 525.76. That's our close. I'd use that as your swing number. If in fact it can't hold that, I'd look 3.5 level. And then we got a long way to go to Monday's low at 516.28.
The slow, steady march finally takes out that old high that we were talking about for so long. Makes a new one by a couple bucks, 528.5. It's pulling back here now. It was actually trading up over 528 again this morning. Pulling back here with the market almost flat now at 526.04. I don't know where this one's going to go. Sometimes you'll see these things make a new high by a couple bucks, sucker a few people into thinking, oh, it's going to break out and go test up to 550 here eventually, and then it just rolls over on them. So I think it's just a lot of risk here. I think I'm sitting on my hands from a personal perspective. I don't even want to try to make a call on this one, Joel.
Okay, IBM got a little pop in the pre-market over 199, getting to 199.23 for some unknown reason. That matches the all-time high that we made last week. I'm starting to get some consolidation here, Dennis. Right in the 197.50 level, you have 3 closes for Beamer in one area, which is pretty rare. So as long as we stay above that 197.50 level, I think we're good to go to test at least Monday's high at 1 and perhaps that all-time high. Coming back on the downside, 196.10 was yesterday's low for you longer-term investors. Perhaps putting some stops below that level. Nice drop after that to the area where we broke out from. which was 194.90.
The stock was having some decent strength here earlier on in the pre-market. Did, like you said, trade up over 199. Had a few other prints in the high 198s. But with the overall market here, it's now pulled back, trading up only 27 cents now at 197.80. Key support level to watch, obviously, yesterday's low of 196.10. If it breaches that, then I would think about the 195 level again. But the 200 still remains your major psychological resistance. I'd expect, probably some institutional selling pressure there just because it's a nice round hole number, and the high frequency guys sniff that out. So expect high frequency resistance in the 199s.
You notice how we've been talking about a lot of institutional sell orders lately,
Yeah,
Dennis?
yeah, we have.
Either maybe they know something we don't.
I think they're just excited to take some profits on a lot of this stuff, but
stuff they've been sitting on
I
since
know.
2008.
Yeah.
I'm getting back if it gets to 110.
Yeah.
But anyways, Chevron Corporation nudging up towards that old-time high, 110.99. Just gets thwarted anytime it gets over 110 here, hitting 110.20 week on the session at 109. I'd use that 109.63 as a swing number. If you take that out, could get a little bit of dicey here, as you'd have low at 108.28.
Yeah, the stock was actually a lot stronger in the pre-market here too, Joel. Now this one's rolled over as well and actually trading or offered down at 109.60. So the whole market here, we were up $5 before that durables goods came out. We dropped a couple points, and now we've just been drifting down here ever since. 111 remains the enormous resistance if this thing went into rally mode. That's in the 110.99 high that you were talking about there. If we were to pull back here, I'd keep an eye on yesterday's low there. I'll get the number for you. 108.28, I think it is. So
Yep.
Keep an eye on that number too if we're to pull back.
Okay, Mr. Softy, kind of making an interesting for about this stock on a couple of occasions, just hitting the level and banging against it. That level now is turning out to be 31.50. You did have a couple spotted highs above that at 31.59 and 31.68, but I'd move that major resistance down to that 31.50. And if it doesn't get through that over the next couple days, I expect it to drift back down again and test that $31 level.
I think I agree with you on this one, Joel. It's looking heavy to me. Apple making a new high yesterday. Microsoft did not, which is the first tell that maybe you're going to start to see a little bit of relative weakness here. So I would keep an eye on that 31.50 high from yesterday. If we stay below that, we're trading up right now, up 6 cents, so it's almost there at 31.41. May not be a bad area to try a short off of. If it takes out and starts making new 52-week highs, you do not want to be short this, though.
Okay, General Electric. Here we are at 19 again, Dennis. After $19. After visiting 1950 last week, July 22nd high at 1953, goes ex-dividend. Just didn't care that the market was rallying like a banshee yesterday. Closed in 1907. Still have to use that $19 level, 1898 as support. If in fact it gets some pressure under that $19 level, Dennis, we could be looking at the 7 and 8 day lows at 1870 and 1880. This stock just has not participated in quite a while, Dennis.
Yeah, it's been quite well. After they go with those ex-dividend, often you do see them pull back a bit after because people buy for the dividend and then it goes ex-dividend and then they want to sell it. $19 still remains a pretty key psychological level. It kind of held yesterday, 1898. I decided to nibble in it. I bought it at 1901. I think I made 6 or 7 cents after I held it for, I don't remember, quite some time it took to make the 6 or 7 cents because the range is just tight in this thing lately. But keep an eye on the 19 level. If it takes that out, then you might look towards some of those lowers that we made there in the 1865 area.
Okay, moving on to our next component, Procter & Gamble. just the subject of some bantering going on between Kramer and Bank America and whatnot. It has pierced that $67 level. It did it yesterday. Any size coming back there, Dennis, or
Little,
are they all mopped up?
well, most of it's mopped up. There was over 1 million shares that traded there at 67 yesterday, so that was a key takeout. And what you see is a classic tractor being played. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's the 67's gone. Let's get long in the party," and then boom, it just goes straight down on them 30 cents. So that's and Procter & Gamble not a real violent stock, but a 30-cent move, in a matter of a few minutes, is a big move for Procter & Gamble. Um, Obviously Kramer yesterday here, I mentioned it on the Market Movers webpage there, he's had some negative comments on his Mad Money show, and then Bank of America Merrill Lynch comes out and upgrades it this morning, so they are bantering back and forth, and it does appear that Bank of America is winning because stock is trading up here this morning, up 22 cents at 66.92, but I still think that overall 67 area might provide some resistance, seeing a little bit of size come back in there.
Okay, and looking at as long as we hold yesterday's low at sniff $66 level went to 66.13. I'd still use Friday's low 66.50 as mild support. Just above the close at 66.70. The thing that's kind of a little bit worrisome about the move that this stock has had is to 67. It just grinded its way up here. Whereas that one day last week, it just blasted through that area. So, in all likelihood, if it can get through 66, it could, easily recoup those gains that that it made on the announcement savings. Moving on to AT&T, similar to GE, tight range yesterday. Can't get above 30.50 for the life of it. Friday and Monday's lows are matching at 30.29, so a little weakness after that. And then you got another double bottom at 30.20. So let's call the range in AT&T 30.20, 30.50 for the next 6 months.
Yeah, that 30.50 is huge, Joel. Their size, their high-frequency traders are all over that, sniffing it out. Expect high-frequency resistance in the 30.40s. That continues until 30.50 gets taken out.
Okay, J&J was able to rebuff some negative comments by Mr. Buffet yesterday. Got down to 64, kind of threw a head fake, getting through that 64.20 area, recovering to close at 64.45. This thing's just consolidating. I think it's going to take like an earthquake or another Tylenol recall or something to move the stock either below 64 or above 66.
Yeah, this stock here, Joel, 64.45 is where it closed. $65 is starting to look really thick to me too. I'd expect to see some high frequency resistance in the high 64.90s.
Okay, Pfizer Corporation was able to shrug off a huge sell imbalance yesterday, probably helped out by the market as well. Opened dead nuts at the low, rallied up into that 21.34 area, 21.38, Thursday, Friday, Monday's highs. That's just below the level where the stock went ex-dividend at. Major resistance at 21.40. Perhaps the next crack at this 28 level will be the last, and we'll finally see that 20.51.
Yeah, Joel, huge sell imbalance yesterday at the open. Stock opened almost at the lows, continued to rally all day, closed strong. And what do we have happen today? Another huge sell imbalance is out there this morning. So the stock is weak in the pre-market in anticipation of this huge sell imbalance. Those are 400,000 on the sell imbalance, which is large for Pfizer. It was over 1 million yesterday, so not quite as large as yesterday. But somebody seems to be dumping this on the open, and it's driving the price down again. And I just wanted to disclose I do have a trading position on in Pfizer as well.
Okay, the only thing I would advise on this Pfizer trade, Dennis, is that yesterday it opened up into some key support. Okay, this 2080 level we've been talking about for a long time. Today, it's kind of opening up. Let's say it opens here, 2105, 2108. I mean, that for a stock that moves like this, it's really in the middle of nowhere. When you get these big imbalances, either buy or sell. If they're opening up into a good area of support or resistance, taking the opposite side of the trade.
Yeah, that's a good comment to make, Joel.
Yeah, with that being said, Pfizer will probably open up at the low of the day and hit 22. But, but anyways, folks, Just taking a quick look at the market here. Nice bounce. Couldn't quite get to the weekly lows yesterday. Just turned around right on that 9:45 time after the first 15 minutes. Rally took out, made a new high of the move, but now we have it, a new one at 1373.75. So let's keep an eye on that. If we really do go into sell-off mode here, you had a couple closes last Thursday and Friday at 1363. So below the Globex level, don't get too excited. You got support at 1363. Well, that's our show for today, folks, and we'll be back with you tomorrow.